Welcome to Inside the Mania, where you'll hear insider takes of Tradeblock's March Mania brackets, from favorites to Cinderella story to key matchups. We're going to discuss it all. If you haven't already, sign up and fill out your March Mania sneaker bracket today for your chance to win $25,000 if you get that perfect bracket. But don't worry, there is a consolation prize. We'll give you $10,000 if you have the highest scoring bracket. The bracket is available for the entire month of March, so get up in this challenge. The link is in the bio. Today we'll be going over the sleeper picks, that is the Cinderella picks of each quadrant from this bracket. Now, we just want to see which one of those have the potential to come up from the very bottom and be the diamond in the rough. Now, I'm joined with my co-host Dimitri right here.
What's good, y'all?
Ooh.
Happy to be back in the mix. For those of you who aren't super familiar with brackets or don't necessarily watch the NCAA tournament, a Cinderella pick is a team, or in this case a shoe, that ain't got no business beating a 1, 2, or 3 seed, but somehow, some way, they find a way to continue to move on. So we're going to get into it year by year. I'm really excited about this particular segment because, as always, my opinion is tighter than Chris's, and we about to go. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Starting off with 2020, number 12, Dior Air Jordan 1, which was kind of crazy to me. I didn't think y'all had the cash like that.
I don't know anybody out there that really has this shoe. I've seen some reps. That's a whole other thing. But I think I do appreciate this as a 12 seed moving on. I understand how y'all did that. It's a hard shoe to sleep on.
I have no reason to pick that shoe at all. I actually went with, now this shoe gives me PTSD from going to All-Star Weekend Chicago. When we were chasing those Yeezy trucks, chasing the off-white muslins at the Armory. But these are the JFG New Balance 992s. Those are just a super clean shoe, super underrated. So I anticipate this one going far.
That's a fun pick. I like JFG. Everything that we got from him on this bracket was nothing but heat. A lot more pairs of those circulating now. People are really starting to respect game. I like your pick. I don't love your pick because I think that it should have been these Balvins. These are slept on, that I don't get it. It wasn't that it was an AJ1 silhouette, clearly, because most of y'all did the Dior's, but hey, most of y'all got Dior money. But that's not even meant to be hateful. This Balvin was hella cool. You had everything. You had a wild-ass colorway. Mm-hmm. You had new hits. The box presentation was awesome. Yeah. I rock with Balvin and his music, but even if you don't, like, this shoe gave you something special. Now, I hear all of y'all already in the comments, it's not wearable, it's too bright, there's too much going on, and I feel that. So if that's why you didn't have it moving on, but an honorable mention, barely a 16 seed.
That's crazy that you have it jumping up from 16 all the way into the main bracket.
That's what Cinderella's all about.
That wild card pick right there.
No, but I think nothing but great picks here. And if you don't like that, don't worry about it. We got 3 more years for you.
Hey. Moving on to 2021, we had the Mania Jordan 1s. I do like this shoe. This is one of my favorite of the Mania Jordan releases, but how do you feel about these?
I like this shoe. I think it's the least powerful of all the Maniers that we got. AMA's been just bringing heat, and I guess they can't all be winners. This isn't hate. If somebody gave me this shoe, I would wear it.
Okay.
But post-retail, probably not.
Yeah. So do you like these better than the Beffies by chance?
I do, but just barely, though.
Okay.
Just barely. And that I'm an AJ1 silhouette guy. You know that. Again, I'll go back to the Balvins I just picked, or them Dior's that y'all got. But no, like I said, they gave us such high heat for such a long time. It's difficult to say. I like the 1s over the 4s, but if you gave me the 4, I wouldn't hate on it.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I actually picked the Air Jordan 4 from Union LA in the Desert Moss colorway to be the Cinderella pick. I think it was slated at the number 11 seed. I just think this is a better shoe than the Mania Jordan 1 in all types of ways.
I mean, I agree with you. This is actually one of the areas where we don't have a whole lot to disagree about. I think it's a better shoe. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, I don't envy the job that the judges had to do when it came to slating. I think most of the shoes that we expected to see are here. Mm-hmm. You want to argue about the merits of who should have been a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That gets difficult. And, the criteria for storytelling and how the industry was reacting to it at the time, I think it's close to appropriate, but I love your pick here. For me, it was the 2002 R Bembry coming hard again. I love everything that he did on this bracket. I think he actually got a little bit disrespected. I think his shoes should have been up there a little bit higher with some of what we got from JFG. But if you take those artists individually and what they've been doing with their individual shoe line, man, it's hard to argue with the heat that's coming from that camp.
I agree. Salehi is doing his thing. I feel like him, Amine, who else? JFG. Like, they're all doing they're like the Mount Rushmore of New Balance right now. It's kind of crazy. You could put Action Bronson over there.
Yeah, Bam Bam Baklava doing his thing too. I mean, and they're just giving us interesting silhouettes, right? And I think all of us who've got a closet full of probably 1s, 3s, 4s, and 5s are excited about seeing some color infusions and things and some silhouettes that we don't already have 6, 7, 8, 9 pairs of.
Yeah, agreed. Moving in at number 15, Brooklyn Off-White Nike Air Force Ones. I'm not a fan of these shoes. I'm not a fan of any of those like museum. I'm already hearing it in the comments right now. I'm hearing those keyboards clacking right now. I'm not a fan of any of the Off-White Air Force One shoes. They just don't do it for me. For me, coming at the number 9 seed is the Mambasita Nike Kobe 6s. I think this is a great shoe. And the storytelling behind it, I mean, you can't beat it. I feel like this is almost mandatory to have in your closet if you're into sneakers.
If you're a sneaker person and you don't have this particular silhouette in there, not that you had to have a Mambasita, but I mean, they're just giving us heat on this 6. Greenwich Reverse, they all win. I was in Calabasas that day, crazy day to be from LA and for the plane to do what it did, but
Helicopter.
You're right. Different airframes, same situation, but man, they keep blessing us, and I'm super happy that Vanessa has decided to continue on the legacy and storytell through these shoes. So I'll give you the Mambasita. I don't disagree with that, but I'm gonna stand on business because you're hating on what Virgil was doing, and I get it. They're museum pieces, but like this is art, right? This is like the finest of what we get is this combination of functionality times art, and I get it. Not everything belongs in a museum, but if somebody pulled up on you right now with a Louis V case and busted these out, don't front like you're not going to wear them. I had to stand on business. I can't let you get away with that.
Oh, so I guess I was referring to like the Brooklyn, the Big Bird yellow, like the lemonades.
So you think the colorways?
I think the colors are just kind of like.
I mean, I was on Balvin talking about the rainbow colorway, so clearly that don't bother me too much. But I think I understand what you're saying. Less wearable than some of your more traditional AF1s. Man, so I might let that slide. Anyway, my pick, and if y'all remember my last video, I already told you, it's a deep, deep, deep cut. It's an 11 seed. It's probably not moving on, but that family business, that Jackie Robinson, baby, this dunk in the Dodger blue with all the hits. It's a solid shoe, man. If you don't have this, you need to get it.
I don't know. Is that a Cinderella pick? I don't know if that's going to beat the Voodoos.
It's probably not going to beat the Voodoos, and honestly, I didn't even have it moving on in my particular bracket beyond that upset win. I had to get it. Like I said, there's family business there, but the Voodoo is a special shoe.
Yeah.
If you're a franchise-saving shoe, you're doing something
doing work. You're doing work.
Zion's shoe ain't going too much further than that. But no, the one low, special, but at the end of the day, don't glow for the dub.
There we go.
Done. Next up.
We're moving on to 2023. At the number 14 seed is Beffy's Beauty Supply, the Union LA Air Jordan 1s. Now, when this initially came out, everyone on the internet was like, this ain't it. It wasn't until people started getting them in hands. It seems like that's like the thing. Once you get it in hand, then people's opinions start to change. I mean, what is it? Footscapes. This is what the shoe was based after. Just seeing that weave. It was ugly, but then once you saw it in hand, once you heard the storyline of how Chris and Beffy met on the subway platform and created a union, hence the name Union, it was kind of like, click, okay, this shoe looks good. But I did not pick this as my Cinderella pick. I actually picked, I hate Air Force Ones, but I picked the Tiffany Air Force One shoe to come up from the wild card pick at number 16 spot to take out the bracket.
First of all, I respect you for going with a silhouette I know for a fact you don't like.
I hate them.
And then choosing a shoe that I'm pretty sure fits that same criteria as a museum shoe. So you went against the grain there, but I respect it because I think it's actually a great call. And because this is a show about disagreement and not just agreeing on everything, I would have agreed with you, but I actually pulled up in the 990 V6 Bam Bam Baklava. That shoe is hella cool.
So good.
There's almost nothing else to say about it. If you haven't seen it or you're not sure which shoe I'm talking about, go look it up. On foot, off foot, in the box, everything about it. clean.
They're super clean, and again, Mount Rushmore of New Balance. Now, of the two, I actually preferred the Le Piz Lazulis over the Baklavas.
Ooh, okay. Honestly, couldn't go wrong.
Yeah.
For my money, I think they're both dope shoes. I wear a size 13, so getting a pair was difficult anyway.
Yeah,
I tried for both. I ended up with the Baklava, so I'm going to take the dub. The universe told me that was the one I was supposed to have. But back to what you were saying about the Union, it's not on my bracket either. But if we talk about the culture, if we talk about storytelling and what we actually want from our artists to push the envelope in these silhouettes that we care so much about, sometimes we got to let them have the flexibility to surprise us and show us something we hadn't seen before. This was one, I was just like everybody else. I was lining up to hate on it. Then I got the shoe in hand, and it was dope. And I got the shoe on foot, and it was even cooler. And for those of y'all who copped, you know, you could get this one under retail. And where does that exist? A full leather AJ1 silhouette. That's a high. If it was a mid, maybe. But we're not even going to get into the mid agenda right now. This is a dope shoe that's been slept on. I'm certain you can find it on the block.
All right, guys, these are our sleeper picks from this bracket. Let us know if you agree with our list or don't, but don't sleep on the opportunity to win $25,000 just by filling out a sneaker bracket. So you're just choosing your favorites of the bracket with that opportunity to win.
Your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your partner been on your ass about how much money you spend on shoes. Now is the opportunity to convert that into cash. Take what's up here, put it on the bracket, hit the comments if you didn't like what we had to say, and keep tuning in because we got some great content coming for y'all. We got amazing partners in this. We got Unbreakable Kicks is getting ready to hit y'all with some heat. We got Sock Jig coming through to tell us what he thinks. Compare the two brackets. Maybe you get a little bit of knowledge from people who have been in the game. Tony D2 Wild is coming up, and as always, Kais is gonna drop us with some knowledge. So appreciate y'all for tuning in. 25 bands or 10 bands, don't really matter to me. Get the bread.
We're signing out. Dimitri, Christopher, happy trading, y'all.